everybody. So my name is Majesty Angel. I run this YouTube channel for those who didn't know or whatever, because sometimes people be like AIs. But I shouldn't really say that. I am kind of against the AI movement just a little bit because I feel like it could take away some things, but I want to get off that topic. So I wanted to say, here I am. You like what? Here I am. You like, what are you talking about? Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. You like, no, 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 no. So I forgot where I tagged this. Did I tag this to Washington, D.C.? So right now, I want to talk to the protesters right now that's in Washington, D.C. I didn't even know that it was protests, right? For right now, I just researched and I just actually found out because I actually came across it. Um, People are mobilizing so strong right now within the United States of America. And I like it. You like what? I just like the whole movement of having people stand up or having people stand in their truth, have people stand up in their madness. Now, what I don't like that people who played a very, very part within this is laughing. I don't understand why people like to play with God. I don't understand why people like to use his name and toy with it like it's funny. But I always like to tell people from in the world, because right now what a lot of people don't know is the world is watching us. They're watching how we perform. They're watching how the people who we elected within these certain positions, how they are supposed to act accordingly. And I'm just so blown away. I'm blown away. I'm blown away of the ignorance of just people. I am. And what I love about this is so many different content creators, so many people are on their job. See, I don't want to call us petty, right? But it's something about a person. Candace Owens. Thank you. You like what? Because I was kind of skeptical a little bit. Because for a minute I felt like she kind of went a little bit quiet. Oh, I don't think I should say this. Candace Owens. You know who you should invite on your show? You should invite young Pharaoh. I'm starting some shit today. You know why? Yes. Candace Owens. If I was you, I would definitely reach out there. I'm sorry, young Pharaoh. Fuck that. I gotta say this. You really need to reach out to him because this is what he do. This is his field. Remember how I was coming on here and I was saying for some people who really know what they're talking about? And when they have so many different archives and you know what you're talking about, this is why certain people want to dumb down. But regarding the Epstein file, regarding Bill Clinton, regarding so many different things that she's tackling. And this is why I'm saying for right now, that's what's so special about people. Because guess what? I could have some information, but guess what? Joe, he'll have the other information. Just like when I was watching the protests, because they have over 100,000 people. Do you know what scares nations the most? Do you know what scares um, people who sit in power the most? Is when you have a force of people who actually stick together. Now, when you have a force of people who stick together globally on something that's very, very moving, it's a different force. And I keep trying to tell people, for the times that we're living in, that's the force that we have, right? For a lot of things that was happening or a lot of different things that people were doing, I say about 5 years ago, it was overlooked. But because people are starting to see things for the way that they are, because people are not seeing that when we speak about things or when we are really honestly concerned about certain things, um, it's not getting taken care of. And then when you have the back of people who they supported and they loved a whole bunch of different times, don't nobody want no fucking free tickets. I'm just being honest. But people want a little bit more, right? And when people don't understand that part, they forget what everything that matters. But I wanted to say that because I seen something very, very disturbing. And they said, keep saying this stuff. Keep doing this stuff. Y'all can keep retweeting. Y'all can keep talking about it. Ain't nothing happening. But I come here today and I say it is. It's happening on a scale that's moving so fast that if you don't step from out of that and pay attention, you'll miss it. Now, this is the one thing that's really bothering me too. It's really, really crazy how you have a lot of these fake accounts, bot accounts. And what pisses me off sometimes when you have certain people who can try to infect the system, meaning when you have people who pay bloggers, right? Because you're having some people who seeing that's paying bloggers. They're coming up with these crazy ass stories, or they're running crazy ass stories to try to outshadow or try to do something to destroy whatever the cause is, right? But I love how when I can see a whole bunch of different people come in and debunk something that somebody is trying to run, right? That makes me nervous a little bit. Not nervous, but it just shows me, and it should show other people that it's just a little something behind something. Yeah. So I just come to say, for all of those people who are protesting right now in Washington D.C., that the world is seeing you. It was just so crazy because remember I came up here. If you think I'm lying, I had spoke about, it says be careful the industry, and it had Epstein and it had Nicki Minaj, right? So I had said something within my video regarding that. And it's so crazy because underneath the headlining, I didn't even know that you have a lot of activists and you have a lot of veterans. And they actually, across the screen, they actually said for one of the girls who actually brought their concerns to the courts, and they were actually coming against Epstein or Trump. That's how they worded it. They actually said that one of the girls died from suicidal, or however they put it. But people are starting to really go back and go look, and that's why I always like to say, for sometimes when you're dealing with things, the greatest proof right now, the greatest proof of how ignorant somebody ass is social media, because people can't stay off of social media. People always say how they really feel, right? And the laughing and the mocking of shit is terrible. And I just also want to say a lot of, because what's going on too, and Donald Trump, he think he's slick, right? For us, it's a lot of different riffs that's going on, right? And only why I say this is because they saying that he want to meet with the president from Ukraine, right? But now all of a sudden, because you always have to look at, I always look at it, because before, like I was trying to say, well, I didn't say it here, but I said on my podcast, I said that before all of this stuff started going, you can go on the web and you can see it. You literally had the president of Ukraine really pleading and pleading and pleading, and NATO turned him away. They said that he can't join NATO. He first have to wait until all of the stuff that's going on between him and Russia and that country is put to bed. Because if NATO was to allow the president from Ukraine to actually join NATO, then anything or any actions that Russia would do to Ukraine, they have no choice but to go help them. Now, isn't that kind of really like weird a little bit? I always say that. And damn, that's why I don't like talking about political stuff on my channel. But I just wanted to say that. I wanted to come and I wanted to say that. The world is watching. And people always think, oh, because somebody try to say, oh, ain't, that's not going to happen. Stuff ain't going to happen. But you'll be surprised how beautiful a phone can get so much things across. All somebody need is a phone. All somebody needs is a tablet. All somebody needs is a computer to actually see all the folly and all the stuff that people are doing. What makes people think that? And people are thinking something otherly. But Donald Trump, I don't know what's going on. I also applaud the Supreme Court as well, because the Supreme Court, they're actually doing what they need to do, right? It's almost like taking, that should be with everything though. When people, yeah, you like what? I was gonna say, when people show like a mental type of disorder of, uh, anytime you have a mad person on the trigger of something that can cause, I mean, an effect to an economy, to a country, to a whole bunch of different things, that's like a really, really a dangerous person to look at. And then especially on the point of making sure he doesn't do anything else that's going to damage our credibility, our respect, and the things that we stand for. So people want to think that this is a game. This is not a game. This is far from a game, and this shit is far from over, right? Pay attention. I always say that. Pay attention. So much shit is on Twitter right now. It's ridiculous. The ignorance of people on Twitter, and yeah, that's the only thing. So I just want to say that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know. You like what? I didn't know that they was protesting about. Well, I already knew about the immigration um stuff. What I thought it was a law for. It said in the law for we're not even supposed to put boots with on our own soil. That's really really disrespectful. I feel like it's very very disrespectful to our military, that our military have to go out and do a whole bunch of different things, meaning now they have to go in and they have to interact and do a whole bunch of different things against the citizen that they have swore the oath to protect. And when you have a president that don't supposed to be, not our military who are now they coming here and now they doing their own shit within our own within the United States of America is very very disrespectful, and I feel like it should be very very disrespectful to a lot of the 5-star generals and the people who have really really served. And they because you have a lot of people. That's why I always say, people always say, oh well, if so much stuff goes to the left, I feel scared. And I'm like, why would you ever feel scared? Do you know how many honorable military people that are here, the women, the men? I don't care if he's 87 years old, best believe he still know how to do something. I just got chills when I said that. So I never really worry about the stuff that's kind of going on now. What really that, but what really freaked me out is because what freaked me out is that the kids now have to be trained and have to be traumatized by getting these fucking drills in school, where now they have to go hide underneath the desk, they gotta go hide underneath the closet. And that bothers me. For now you are having kids within the schoolers being somewhere, and now they're actually jumping on top of other kids, they're actually trying to help people. I never really thought within this time that we're living in, right? Because you have to look at it. Now it's starting to be in-house terrorists, right? And now it's like they don't care for, and that should make people, that should be very very unsettling, even down to the churches and stuff like that. You seen what happened when a guy, he went down south into one of them Baptist churches and he did all of that other stuff, right? So now a lot of the old ways, the tainted ways of people is being rubbed off here. And I always like to say that because I don't even like to say that my next statement that I was going to make, because he's talking about the drugs and different things like that that come in within this country, right? Through the cartels and certain stuff like that, right? Now, I always like to say, for fentanyl came through the United States at a very, very fast rate. Fentanyl have killed a lot of different people, family members, and a lot of different things like that. For I always say, sometimes just looking at the timing, right? And when I posted the video on my Twitter account, when Whack 100 was speaking to the guy, but he couldn't even comprehend, because Whack said, from where I know the streets and from where the streets are now, the streets have died from the different activities that have went through. For now, you have a lot of different people that can go through a lot of different neighborhoods, the different things that's taking place. It had pivot to something else. But what I wanted to say was, if you have to think about it like that, whoever have control over the ports, right, meaning the passage that come in and out of the United States of America, they have the real power with that. Now, if you also had the power to be able to bring stuff in here, meaning narcotics and different things, I always like to say, for was that type of a part, meaning the distribution of putting fentanyl within everything, because they know that within United States of America, the percentage of people who get high, right, is very very high. You know what I mean? The percentage of people who get high in the closet is very very high. And during this rate right now, I always like to say, was it planted to destroy people? Because they really didn't have to do that. They really didn't have to mess up the course of wave within the narcotics trafficking part like that. So I always say, yeah, you always have to look at certain stuff. But I looked at certain stuff like that because it went from just being the way that it was, from being into pills, you know what I mean? And then crossing over, you had bad batches of people going to go purchase and get marijuana and a whole bunch of different things. So just everything around the board is just all messed up the way that I look at it. Yeah. So I like it. You know, everything, people gonna keep going. You're gonna see 100,000 turn into 500,000. Then you're gonna see 1 million people walking through the streets, and then it's gonna be like a plague, right? And this is what people don't understand. For somebody created the biggest plague, and now it's trickling effect. And now, because I have to applaud the people and all the organizations that's coming together to do something that's actually working, because that's the worst thing that the government, any country can actually see, is when you start to see the rebel of the people. That's why when I said, they was trying to say, oh, no more Christmas, no more this, no more that. And I was like, I'm not being a part of none of that shit. I'm just saying, I like to say that because the people are soft. And I don't mean to do that. And I don't want to like push the spear, but the people are not really ready for that type of a movement, nor that's what the government actually feel across the board for that movement. So to avoid the rebel of the people is to actually make the people feel at home, to actually listen to the people and see. For everybody, listen, I came up in a time when fucking rent was cheap. Out here in New York City is like the most expensive place, which is crazy. Should nobody be paying no fucking $5,000, no $10,000, or with even without here, rent is like what, 2,200 or something like that. And then you have a lot of people that say, "Well, I'm going to go move to Jersey." I say that shit all the time. I'm going to go move to Jersey. I'm like, where do you live at? Jersey City, Newark. I'm not shooting nobody from Newark, nothing like that. But then now you're forcing people to go find cheaper places where to live. And then when you come from out of a different state, guess what? You just went from a state that was paying $21 an hour, $22 an hour, however it be, and then it's paying a lot lower. Then you're dealing with a state that's only paying what, people 15, $13. So then the whole momentum of just everything around the board. I feel like United States of America is so rich, it shouldn't be none of the stuff that's going on, right? And then I always look at it, for you have some people, if you were that awoke like that, you'll have homeless people who refuse to go in the system, just like you have people who live underneath the grounds. You have people who live in the tunnel system because they refuse to be part of a society that is just so out of control. And then now you having, it's like a different class between they trying to say that the rich black people, the rich America or something like that, are turning on the people, however it be. I don't think that is, well, that's what happens sometimes when people forget a little bit. And then, because I understand that because there's so many millionaires and so many people in the world, I understand that some people want people to save everybody. I understand that people can't save everybody. I understand that, but it's enough of them to do something. And if you want to look at it on a business aspect, nigga, write it off as a fucking tax write off, and you'll just get your money back. But it shouldn't be like that. Right? I applaud LeBron James. I think he has like a school for the kids and certain stuff like that. Like, he understand that, and they don't do that. And I always look at it like that. For you always have to be common too, because within our community, I always like to say that our shit is called our shit is called the liquor store. Go to fuck downtown Manhattan somewhere, you'll see it. It's like a movie, the greatest picture ever. For it go liquor store, and then it go to spirit and wine. But within spirit and wine, it got the same shit that it got in the liquor store. You know what I mean? So I always look at that. So I just want to tell people that people are seeing stuff, and the world is moving. It is. And congratulations. And I know that it's going to be snowing tomorrow. It's going to be terrible. and they supposed to be having another protest out there in Washington D.C. Like they really, really like going in, and it's just going to keep getting worse. The longer he sits there, it's going to keep getting worse until they put the stimulations. Now, the only thing that I fear, well, not really so much, because Nigeria is now like saying to cut off a whole bunch of different things, right? And that's what's wrong with him. I always say that. Do you know how many? Because he didn't keep his promise. He didn't keep his promise, and a lot of people who support him need to understand that. From when he was doing his campaigning, he was saying that he was going to bring a whole bunch of different, um, what's that word I'm looking for? Like, you know how in Detroit they had a lot of different companies that worked on a lot of different parts, a manufacturing part. He said that he was going to bring back a lot of manufacturing parts. So how the hell are you arguing with the company that almost 85% we get all of this shit from their country, right? So now it's like a taboo, right? So I'm tariffing you, I'm giving you problems, but now you need whatever I have here. You need the minerals, you need the car parts, you need certain things, and they don't look at it. For I think when they took away all of that from out of the Detroit area, all of them different areas that actually played a part, it messed up the economy, it messed up their neighborhood, it messed up a way for them to provide for their family. So how can we get back the economy actually going on? It's actually going to go look in a lot of different states that lack a lot of different fundings and different things. That's why I was totally against when they went against Jay-Z bill, right? It was a great bill, but they only went in against it because it was Jay-Z. They kept saying, no, they didn't want it, they didn't want it. No, let's bring it back in. You didn't want to give him or push his business idea because it was him, but it would have brought a lot of good revenue to New York City, and it would have actually boosted up the economy and the different things that we have here, right? So you have to look at it too. I always say that. People always say, I don't like this, I don't like what I'm doing, or I don't like this job. And I always say, well, when you actually start working in corporate and you start going up the ladder, those type of beasts are 10 times worse than the current situation that you are in, because it's always like that, and it doesn't make sense. So do we really actually want to move forward, or uh, 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 I don't know. Mm-mm. It's a very, very dangerous scale, very, very dangerous play. I don't know why they keep. Well, I want to see. I'm definitely interested. Now, you like what? Because now I want to get my hands on like the Epstein like whole document. Actually, what I want to do, I actually want to get a hold of that project, something that they were actually talking about, how Donald Trump was going to do a whole bunch of different things. Like I read through it a little bit, but it's supposed to be like 1,300 pages or something like that, because of different formats and the different things that I guess they said that was in that documentation, meaning the way that he was going to perceive and how he was going to run this country the last 4 years of his administration. It seems like he's doing it. And that's why I always be wondering sometimes, from the counsel that he's getting, because you can have a person who is a president, or you can have somebody that's running something, but because of his bad counsel of meaning, no, I think you should do it this way, no, I think you should do it that way, you know what I mean? That's why I think sometimes, oh, Elon Musk about to be mad at me a little bit. I try to I try not to be so disrespectful to Elon Musk. I try to help just a little bit. You like why? Because I'm still using Twitter. You like what? That nigga's definitely active, but everybody should have seen how he pulled back from that, and because he actually had a big play. I'm gonna give you your credits, nigga. You like what? Because Elon Musk really, really had a big play of just helping him and doing a whole bunch of different things. But that's how people are just in general. Once they feel like they have achieved something from you, yeah, or you have put them to where they need to be, and they feel like they no longer need your services, they'll just kick you to the curb, not knowing sometimes it's best to have on certain people, and people don't think like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get off this topic. I no longer want to talk about this. You like what? I don't, but I'm so happy. When I'm happy, I'm just happy about the awakening of just people. Yeah, the awakening of people, the ways that is going, because people be failing to realize, and I'm gonna always keep saying this, the world, people are looking at us and we are looking at them, and we are looking at all the situations from a different eye glass. So we like, no, that's not right. No, you're not supposed to be like that. Hold on, it's a whole bunch of different shit. And because I love that, and because of certain things, you will have people go back into shit that's like 10 years old, and they'll really take their time out of there, go over it. They go over it, they make sure a whole bunch of different things. That's why a reference, when you hear somebody say a reference is something that they're referring to give it a confirmation, or give it um what they need to complete whatever that they actually are representing from you. So every time you say something, I have a reference. Okay, well, you believe this is that and the third. Well, this is the reference. This when it happened. This is that and the third. Yeah. So I'm very, very interested. Now I want to know a little bit more about the different the import, the different end trades of Nigeria, because I really didn't go too much in it like that. You know what I mean? Mm, for what's the real thing. Well, I heard a whole bunch of different stories, but that's weird. So even to, I don't like what, because there's so much stuff happening. You got China now with Japan. You got Russia, hopefully the Ukrainian. Now you have people in Ukraine. You know, you have, listen, you're like, what? Because you have I love the whole, see, a lot of people don't know. It's a whole new movement within, what's the group of kids? How can I put you guys in a category? Like, it's a whole new movement, I say, of kids, maybe 18 to 25. 18 and 25, just over there, that they're resisting the movement of joining into the military and stuff like that, right? Or, and now they're trying to say they don't want to go, because everybody know, once it becomes a shortage of people going into the military, all of a sudden they're just going to just start doing the draft, and people are not going to say yes, no, or nothing. It's either you're going or you're going to jail, and that's a whole different movement. So now I'm kind of like, you like, why? I'm kind of scattering, because my brain is actually like going over a whole bunch of different things because of the strike that happened in Nigeria, the freaking terrorist level, or the level over top in the United States of America probably have shifted, because you really don't know. And then because of, hmm, because I always like to say that, right? A movement or organization or a terror group, you really don't know how big and how fast they have grown, right? That's why they always like to put out a small fire before it actually generates. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people should know, and the government should pay attention, when you also have people that's born and raised in a country, and then they fly over, or they want to be a part of something that just speaks 10 times louder. For now you have, because listen, and that was so funny, because when I was watching the protest, they were saying people are treason, 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 treason. It's not treason when you actually want something, you want something better of the land. Treason is very, very, mm, that's the wrong word definitely to be using for. It's in our constitutional right for us. We can have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech also includes for us to protest the whole a lot of different things that's going on. It'll be chaos. I shouldn't say that on my channel. You're like, what? Because I always say that if they were to affect the freedom of speech, meaning the way that we are talking and we are communicating, I have to give a real, real big, big shout out to this black young little brother. He probably looked like he probably like 25, 26, and they dedicated their whole channel, because I said this the other day. I said, it feel like we are like the reporters on YouTube, like reporting a lot of different things. And he was like, if you want the truth, you could come over here. So it's so many different people who are woke. But I definitely, mm, you like what? Because now I would like to pick other people's minds. I think that's how I am sometimes. For sometimes we have to pick other people's minds, meaning because you will just be surprised about the different knowledge and the different information that people have. Right? And I always hope that I'm delivering what I'm trying to say correctly, because sometimes if we don't deliver it correctly, you can run people off of the topic. But I just wanted to say that the world is watching. the world just cannot believe a whole bunch of different things. That's just like when we watch what's going on in other countries too, right? Damn, you're like, what? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Mhm. Mhm. It's like a plague. It's a plague. It's a plague. It's festering. It's festering. It's festering and it's festering. Why should the American people be out there doing a whole bunch of different things? At least they're protesting. At least it's not like, and I don't like that. You like what? Like, because, well, that's like two different ways, and I shouldn't bring their names up like that because they're very, very powerful and they did a whole bunch of things. But you will have protesters that's like, you will have protesters that's like Martin Luther King. Then on the other side, you have a whole bunch of protesters that's like Malcolm X. Like they I want all of that. We're gonna do a whole bunch of different things, and the world I don't think is ready for that, and I don't want to see that because I see a whole bunch of shit that I do not even like seeing within my mind from the devastation of different things that can come if shit don't get smoothed over. Yeah. And it's not funny, and celebrities should not be making fun of the fucking matter, or should be playing around with God and doing a whole bunch of other different things, because people lives, so many people have died today, so much shit is about to happen. I'm just saying, the American people, we only seen one terrority, I mean one devastation, one terror attack, however you want to call it, but that was only when the World Trade Center, and I shouldn't do that because so many people died. But I'm not being ignorant. I'm just saying that's just the fact of the matter. That's like the only time that the American people actually seen that, right? It'd be terrible, very terrible. And I always like to say that for don't never underestimate stuff. Mm-mm. And then because of the border, I always like to say that so many different people before Donald Trump actually came into office, so many people actually snuck through. So many different people. You like what? Because you have to look at it, because I always look at it like that. And I hate that my mind be far stretched. But if you don't know, I'm just saying, let's say it like this. Say we have a family, we call it family C. Family C, they just hate this country, they hate these people so much. But guess what? I'm gonna raise my kids up. Guess what? And I want you to go to school. I want you to learn this. I want you to do this, that, and the third. Or you have it like that, like double agents and a whole bunch of different things. But the rate of that, yeah, I'm getting off of this topic. I don't want to talk about it no more. So pay attention, people. People are watching. People are watching. People are watching. And to you fucking fake bloggers out there, it's pathetic. I just want the people to just say when they see certain things and they peep certain things, why do people think that it's cool to do certain things like that? Right? What are you trying to achieve for that, or what is the person actually trying to achieve of doing what the fuck that they did, instead of looking at however that is being presented? Because I have never seen what I'm seeing right now, the force of the shit that I'm seeing with on the internet, just with people, and it's crazy and it's very mind-boggling. So that's what makes me feel like people are paying certain fucking people to try to do fuck shit. And that makes me feel, okay, well, what's the problem? What's the real agenda? Oh, okay, I understand what the real problem is, but I need the people to see that. Yeah. So until next time, you guys have a great day. I am finished. I'm finished. I'm finished. I'm finished. I'm finished. I think I'm really done. I think that this is like going to be like my last live until after the New Year's, and then I can just come in swinging, and I could just come doing a whole bunch of different things. So until I see you guys after the New Year's, I just hope that everything's gonna be just fine for people. Do what you need to do. Stay out the way. Um, I guess keep creating a whole bunch of different things. I always like to say, for people see that people are on a very powerful road to success. um to always move with kindness and pureness within your heart, no matter how the circumstances may be. Oh, that's so cute. You're like, what? So I read something underneath a post and it was so sweet, right? I'm not even gonna say what I said because I felt like it was a little bit personal. So I guess anybody who come past it and might see it. I have so many different things, so People not even gonna know what I'm talking about anyway. But for those who see it, it's a blessing. It really, 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 really is a blessing. And I'm really, really so happy that people understand where they get their power from, right? And when people understand where they get their real true power from, and they really see how it is, then guess what? It's so much stuff. People are walking in the unknown. I speak nothing but blessings and protection over a whole bunch of different people, success on their projects, blessings and covering over people, family, and congratulations, and congratulations to all of those people who are putting together new projects and businesses. So also speak for people who have been looking for like business loans, house loans, just loans for personal things that you want to do. I just speak nothing but blessings. I believe it. Everything's gonna work out just fine. Everything's happening for a reason. And I'm so, 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 so happy that people actually honestly get it, and the world is awake, 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 awake. But before major devastations, earth would tell us, right? It'll be storms, it'll be fire. Why do you think? And I think, damn, what's going on, spirit? For when it start being a lot of different storms, different floodings, fires, you know what I mean? The tornadoes, different stuff like that, nature, birds and stuff. Like the most powerful thing that I knew, that the animals are connected to the planet, is when we, okay, when I actually seen when the eclipse, before the eclipse passed, all of a sudden the birds was like, they were chirping. And once the eclipse actually went, it just became total silence. So as much as they want to say that nature or whatever is not in play on a lot of different things that's happening, you'll be surprised. Just like when I hear a lot of different things about animals, like especially animals within the wild. Oh, this animal did this. I always say, what the fuck y'all out there doing to the animals, right? Because animals can't talk. So the only way an animal can actually let you know that something's happening within their habitat, they have to perform. They have to do a certain things, right? Just like the fish and a whole bunch of different things. Just like before, all of a sudden, all these massive fish and all this other stuff was dying and stuff. So pay attention. Until next time, I want to say shalom, 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 shalom. How the hell she know? Shalom, right? How would I also say? Shaquan, Shaquan, my brother. Shaquan. Until next time.